Hey y'all, what's up? Thank you for tuning in to Loud Weed, where loud women elevate, educate, and discuss. We're a group of AZDHS compliant patients supporting the normalization of cannabis, and we're bringing you the marijuana community to share their talents and knowledge and help break the stigma attached to our beloved plant. Even though Arizona is not yet a recreationally legal state, the medical marijuana scene is flourishing and thriving, and we're excited to showcase the gifted and powerful local community here in Arizona. We are dedicated to fighting the taboo that comes along with being patients by discussing the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all that surrounds what being a modern day stoner comes with. Some of our shows will be sensitive in nature, as our topics could include segments regarding mental health and traumas that have led to who we are today, so listener discretion is advised. And if you're under 18, invite your mom and pops to join in. Thank you for listening. Be sure to catch us every other Sunday on KDIF 102.9 live out of South Phoenix, or you can find us on a few of the major platforms like Anchor and Spotify. Now, let's get elevated.
Hey, what up?
Hola! Oh, look at that.
Hola.
That's awesome.
Yep, we did it. No, that was easy.
Yeah, cool.
Okay,
All
cool.
right. Well, so let me give a little explanation as to what's happening here. The whole entire country is on a lockdown. Arizona is one of the states where we're not in the center or like forefront of it, but we're definitely a state that has a little bit of worry. The cases are growing day by day with the coronavirus. So, as a precaution, my lovely co-host are going to do our Loud Weed show from the comfort of our own homes. And we're utilizing Anchor to do that. So, you ready, H?
Yep, I'm ready.
Awesome. So, what is today? Normally,
Today, Monday, March 23rd.
all right, we're on day what?
This is day 5 for us.
But yeah, day 5, day 6, around there. Do we
Yeah,
count the?
I don't know. I honestly don't know anymore what day I'm on. I've been working from home anyway, and so I have had to leave to go to the store. So that's where my confusion lies, I guess, is does it like start when you are home for good, or can you count the days where you had to run to the store real quick?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I've done some running around. My honey did most of the running around for me. Like I would be like, I don't have any toilet paper, and he would get up and go look for toilet paper. That was really the thing that we
Mhm.
couldn't find, and rice or tomato sauce. I had
Yeah,
a full out over tomato sauce.
yeah, no, same here. We were doing our hunting and gathering all last week, taking turns, going to different stores at different times of days, on different days, until we were able to say, you know what, I think we're in a good place. Let's sit tight and see how this goes. So that's what we've been doing. And thankfully, we've found everything we've needed. And so we're doing okay.
Tell me about your like you're working from home. So tell me like how that is for you. I know you've always worked a little bit from home, right?
Yep, I've always worked from home. That's just part of my position. But I do travel quite a bit. Typically, it's 2 weeks out of every month that I'm on the road in a different state. So COVID has definitely impacted my work. A lot of the projects that I'm on are being put on hold until further notice. Hospitals are not allowing us as vendors to go on site. They're not taking any visitors. So I'm having to do a lot of stuff remotely, where, like, if I was going to travel to a facility and go on site and tour a department and take a look at how things are going and looking at their department, I'm having to do that from my home remotely. So I'm having 3-4 hour calls a day, doing the stuff that I would normally travel to do. So it's really interesting. And I've actually gotten busier on my end because of all of this, having to figure out how to train people remotely. And, you know, what I do is important to the healthcare industry. And so we have to get people their medical records. So that's what's going on for me.
That's interesting. It's kind of interesting the way it's impacted so many of us in a way that like we never even fathomed.
Mm-mm, no.
Like It's just interesting to see. Have you been watching any of the news coverage from other countries?
Not from other countries. I've just been sticking to like the local news and kind of reading up on stuff when I can. But I haven't really been. I know that I was talking to some of my other friends who are following cross country and worldwide, and just giving me updates on how many deaths are being reported in a day in Italy and things like that, and it's just mind blowing.
It really is. I'm one of those weirdos that's keeping close track.
Hmm.
And I saw a map last night. It like gave like this kind of interactive map and it showed the hot spots. And it literally looks like it's just traveling from the other side of the country coming to the west part of the country and it's
Yeah.
just coming. That's literally what the image looked like to me, was it's just coming for us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's a scary thing. And I think, if everyone again just does their own due diligence and is responsible for themselves, I think we should all be okay. I've just been, reading things and listening to things and getting myself, sometimes a little bit worked up and reading about, how the virus is actually affecting your lungs and your airways and things like that. So one thing that we've been doing here in our home is sipping on like warm beverages as often as possible. We did read that the virus tends to harden the mucus in your throat and in your airways and into your lungs. And so that's what's causing the shortness of breath. So if you continue to drink a warm liquid or stay hydrated, sipping on water at room temp, that should help keep the mucus from hardening and also wash away the virus. So gargling with Listerine or any type of mouthwash or antiseptic is also things that we've just been doing, just added measures here at home. You can never be too safe, and I'd rather err on the side of caution than not at all.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Yep. Yep. So yeah.
You're just like making sure that before I walk in and touch anybody, I go and I wash my hands. I've had to stay working, so it's been like a lot of my other customers are older, so I get so worried just going from one customer to the next.
Yeah. What are you doing since you're having so much contact still in the community? What measures are you guys taking?
Um, so I diligent about cleaning around the store, making sure that any, the pin pads are getting sanitized, the doors. Um, I don't know that it even has anything to do with dust, but I've just been dusting more and trying to
Mm-hmm.
make the store stays cleaner. And then for me, and because I'm handling money constantly,
Mm-hmm.
for every transaction, I use hand sanitizer. I'm lucky that my boss always has hand sanitizer for us, and
Mm-hmm.
it's those big gallon thingies. So
Nice.
I'm glad that we had that already and didn't have to stress about it. I did
Mm-hmm.
put it behind the counter so no one else would touch it.
Yep. Yeah.
So when an elderly customer comes in, I immediately hand sanitize my hands and I try to make sure I'm not touching anybody, or they hand me their credit
Mm-hmm.
card and I kind of hold it at the very edge. I the
Mm-hmm.
things I'm trying to do, but it is scary.
Yep.
I'm so afraid. Like anytime someone coughs, I'm like, great.
I know. It's crazy that this is becoming our new norm. We did drive through sometime last week and they wouldn't even hold the credit card. They had us inserted in the credit card machine,
Mhm.
everything. So some people aren't even handling that stuff either. Gloves, plastic, I mean, you name it. Everything is just, this is our new norm. It's crazy.
Yeah, and everyone's like, you don't want to wear a mask, and I'm like, I, are we there? Do I have to? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I do have a friend who's a registered nurse in New Mexico, and there's tons of people that are buying the masks and buying them in bulk and trying to upsell them out there. And we have our healthcare workers who are in the front line trying to handle this stuff. So I think for now I'm holding off on the masks. But I'm also not doing a whole lot of contact. So I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know anymore.
that's I think the most interesting part of that, and that's what's causing the stir among everybody is we just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of fear of the unknown. I mean, it seems like, are we halfway through it? Are we not? Is this just the tip of the iceberg? What's the bigger picture? What's long term going to happen? I mean, this is history. We're going to be talking about to our grandkids about this. This is happening and we are living it.
Living it. It's so interesting. I actually posted something like that the other day. It was like, we're a history lesson right now. Right now.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. This is crazy. I mean, I don't know. I just hope everybody's hanging in there. I keep getting on my Instagram and posting lives and, just want to be there for anybody who needs anybody, needs a friend, an ear, somebody to joke around with, anything at all. I know that there are people that aren't lucky enough to be in quarantine or isolation with their loved ones. Some are all alone, some are elderly. So, like, I just want to be an outlet for anybody who needs it right now, for sure.
So, do you have any suggestions or anything for like I know one of the things for me has been my anxiety has been like through the roof. Like anytime that
Hmm.
he coughs, I'm touching him to make sure he doesn't have a fever. He has
Hmm.
allergies, so he's coughing like constantly at this time anyway. But now
Yep.
I'm afraid of bringing it home. Do you have any like suggestions for maybe some like breathing techniques or some ways that we can just as parents kind of quiet down our worries and fears?
Yeah, one thing that we've been doing, we've stocked up on some vitamin C vitamins and gummies and that stuff for the boys, and they're doing that. With regards to breathing, just deep, deep breaths. Anytime you start to have shortness of breath, that's usually stress fueled, anxiety fueled. Hyperventilating tends to make it worse. So big, long, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I feel like that will also help, if you are having symptoms of shortness of breath. I mean, if you're not able to do that, then that's a red flag that something's going on. So just always being mindful of your breath everywhere you're at. I keep talking about that. Anytime that you are listening to your breath, you're living in the present moment. So I can't stress that enough. Breathing techniques, even right before bed, if you're having trouble sleeping. Um, just close your eyes and start to count backwards from 10 and then drop it down from 9 backwards and then from 8 backwards and just listen to your breaths, and that helps me slowly drift off. It's kind of like the counting sheep thing, but when you're focused on something, it tends to help you drift off a little bit better. So those are some things that I've been doing. I've been relying on my yoga practice a ton right now just to help give me peace of mind. My home studio in Albuquerque is doing live yoga sessions with all of their teachers right now on Zoom, and I'm definitely taking advantage of that. So I'm just urging people to find, dig deep, find your sacred place within, whether you're sitting, meditating. It isn't hard, anytime that you can just close your eyes and sit and be in one place. That's meditation. So
Like we
I'm just urging people to get their minds right with that. Take advantage.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Makes sense to me. Um, so something happened, like some good news.
Woo woo.
You ready? I'm excited.
Yes.
My honey proposed to me.
Ah, congratulations.
I know, I'm excited. We had been talking about, just kind of maybe getting married or just we didn't know, it was just kind of been a conversation for a while. And I guess
Mm-hmm.
with everything that happened, he was able to get the ring earlier. And it was funny because I knew something was up. Like, he was
Mm-hmm.
fine in the morning and then he was gone for a bit and he came back and I was like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, something up
Yes, yes.
anymore. I'll be right back. And I was like, what? So he went to his house and he came right back and he sat me down and we had a conversation and it's so pretty.
Oh, you'll have to send me a picture. Like, that's huge. That's great news.
But
That's amazing. That's a beautiful blessing. I'm so stoked for you guys. I think you guys are great.
our
So
two,
I can't wait for what's in
I,
store.
I know that that was probably more his like what he was wanting to do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it's awesome. I'm excited.
That's amazing. I'm so freaking pumped for
Brooke has
you.
something to look forward to after all this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like, in this time, you're really seeing who your ride or dies are, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Really are.
Speaking of, I want to give a shout out to all my homegirls because it has been such a beautiful thing to have people messaging, text messaging, DMing, like, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? I reached out to a few friends. Do you need anything? Are you looking for anything? So I'm really happy to see the community still being a community. And even
Yep.
like we look at all the things online and all the things on the news where they're like you just see greed surrounding. I'm glad
Hmm.
circle of life. I
Yeah. Yeah, me
yeah.
too. We're definitely starting to see some compassion. I was even in the grocery store the other day and I saw this younger woman ask this elderly couple if there was anything in her basket that they needed, and she'd be happy to give it to them. And I swear I almost lost it. I almost broke down. I had to like walk through fries with my chin all shaking, and it was so sad because I'm like, this is like it's been weighing heavy on me. I'm carrying a lot on, for there's just this global heaviness right now, and I feel like it's weighing on me. I want to help everybody. And so it's beautiful to see this compassion, and I hope that it continues even after all of this goes away.
I agree. I saw a post the other day that was saying that we have to really think about the people that are keeping our country going, the nurses, the doctors, um, grocery store workers, truck drivers, um,
Yeah.
just people that are really keeping those front lines open. We've always carried like milk and ice and eggs, and trying to be a little community market, but it's been a little more like eye opening, running out of milk in an hour. Like
Yeah, it's
eye
insane.
opening.
Yeah, I mean, it's beyond crazy when your grocery store opens at 6 and people have been lining up since 4 to get toilet paper, and by 6:20 it's all gone. I mean, there just aren't any words. I would have never thought, if you would have asked me like before the holidays if this is where we would be, it would have seemed like a movie script or a dream.
Yeah, that's exactly what this feels like, is like a really bad 1980s movie where we have orange president. The whole country, the whole
Yeah,
world has been overtaken by some alien
yeah.
force, and we all just have to stay inside. Like on what's that Disney or Pixar movie where he's like, "Can I go into the out now?"
Yeah. I know which one. I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking
Talking about
about. Yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely a challenge, but I think, just like every situation, we just need to find that silver lining and the positive in it. So, I mean, we're all, I know it's affecting people differently. I know people are losing their jobs. I know there was something like, 281,000 people last week alone who are filing for unemployment across the country. So I know it's hitting families harder than others. Um, but in that same token, I mean, we just need to listen to the universe, and the universe is saying, hey, slow down, disconnect, and reset. So I think, if we can get everybody on that same page, I think we can come out on top.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's a great message.
Yeah.
So, since this is working so well, I think that this is going to work perfectly for
Okay.
our guest, the
Okay.
bearded man. So,
Yep.
what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take a little break. And the next segment, you're going to hear a conversation with Adge and New Mexico bearded man. Um, you guys are going to have some fun. I'm excited what
Yep.
happens.
Yep. I'm excited. Me too. I'm excited. Bummed that we couldn't get someone from New Mex into our state and on the show. But super pumped to have him on. And, we're crossing state lines here with Loud Weed, so let's do it.
Yes, I did. All right, Chica. Well, we're gonna come back again on Sunday together to do our normal show. This is for the recording for Anchor. I'm really glad that Anchor is available for us to be able to do this. I'm glad I went with Anchor. Hi, so we wanted to take a minute to tell you all about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to start your own podcast.
I had no idea what I was doing. So I just kind of Googled around and I found Anchor. And I want to make sure that you don't have to do that if you're thinking about starting your own podcast. It's absolutely free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. They also help you get it out onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole bunch more. You can make money from your podcast from the very first episode. It literally is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So all you need to do is go download the free Anchor app, go to Anchor FM to get started. But now let's get back to the show.
Hey, yo, what up?
What's going on? How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good, good. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Right on. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We are Loud Weed, Loud Women Elevate, Educate, and Discuss. Today, we are sitting down with the New Mexico bearded man. Thank you for being here today.
I appreciate you all having me on. It's an honor.
Absolutely. So we're changing it up and we're doing things a little bit differently this time due to COVID and everything that's going on. It's unfortunate we were not able to have you in the studio. So we're doing everything remotely via social distancing. So we're giving it a try. I don't have my beautiful co-host Panda with me at the moment. Same for my marijuanager and pot deucer. Everyone is at home remote. So we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to be handling this interview today, and then we'll also be going live on Instagram on Sunday. So
Nice.
First of all, how's everyone in Burke holding up with everything that's going on?
It's like New Mexico's like just like anything, you know what I mean? We're so far behind, it takes a while for things to get here. So it's really just now hitting here. They just started the stay at home thing, and
okay,
we hit 100 cases here in New Mexico now. So
wow. So it's 100%. You guys have been ordered to stay stay indoors for the time being, right?
yeah, we're ordered to stay inside unless it's an emergency, basically medical emergency, pharmacy emergency, stuff like that.
Understood. Yeah, here in Arizona, we've not yet had that order put in place. My family, we've definitely been indoors for over a week now, just based off of our own decision making. We're waiting on them to pull the trigger on that, although it's not happened. But lots of people are still kind of running around doing their hunting and gathering at the grocery stores. It's hard to find anything up here. Last time I was at a grocery store, there was nothing on the shelves. We had no frozen food. We had no meat, no canned foods, no TP. I mean, it's madness. Are you guys kind of seeing the same thing over there?
No, it's bad. It's actually gotten really bad. Stores are starting to only let in like 10 people at a time to stop people from robbing each other.
Holy cow. So it's like
I live in a nicer part of town, and just the other day, a poor older lady was robbed, not for her purse or her money, but for her toilet paper and her food in the grocery store parking lot. Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's
I mean, people, I mean, we need to get it together here, and it's all about one love. So let's help our neighbor, and especially those that are less fortunate, or those older folks, who have laid down the groundwork for us to be here. So let's show some respect and love.
Most definitely. Definitely.
So how is the cannabis community being affected by everything that's going on right now?
Fortunately, we're lucky on that end because the governor deemed cannabis a medical necessity. Right. So all of the dispensaries are allowed to remain open. They're just doing things a little bit differently. Instead of going in, you have to order online, and then they'll drop it off like curbside, kind of like Sonic. So it's not being affected too bad.
Good. That's kind of where we're at over here in Arizona. Same type of scenarios. Ordering through Leafly, there's delivery and pickup. Really, no one's really going into the dispensary until until you receive that message that your order's ready for pickup. You're getting escorted to the cashier. I think there might be a handful of dispensaries that are open. I did a lot of my preparing ahead of time, so I haven't been in a dispensary really this past week to know what's going on now. But last time I was in, there was a huge line, and it seemed like everyone was trying to prep for just getting ready to stay home. So it seems like patients are able to still easily get their meds out there. That's great. That's good to know.
Yeah, definitely. They're not definitely putting a stop on that. I actually was in a dispensary today. One of my friends is an organ transplant patient, so he has a really, really bad immune system. So I had to go in today for him to get him restocked on medicine. And the selections were still there. They're not messing with the prices at all. They're doing like, this particular dispensary was funny. As soon as you go in, you show them your ID, and once they verify it's you by your ID, they give you a mask and gloves. And then,
wow, yeah, that's great. I mean, at least they're taking that added measure. That's great.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I want to back up a little bit. We met back in January, and it just so happened that one week I was last minute ended up in Albuquerque. So then you invited me over to a sesh, and that's kind of how we met. So let's talk about a little bit more about what you do in the industry and in the community. It's my understanding that you do work with other dispensaries. You've got some sponsors, product review, brand ambassadors, writer for Cannabis Cactus. So let's talk about all that you do in the community and how you're crossing state lines with everything that you're doing as well.
I actually just started off. I started smoking obviously a long time ago before it became medically legal or whatnot. But in 2009, when it became medically legal here in New Mexico, I actually was doing events already, but on the motorcycle side of things, I created one of the largest cancer rallies in New Mexico.
Okay.
And once cannabis became legal, I jumped on that side of things because that was a huge passion of mine, and just kind of got a roll from there. Opened up 2 dispensaries like as a consultant, and I don't know, I started traveling and I started getting recognized by companies, and just really my main goal was to put New Mexico on the map because unfortunately I grew up in a family where meth was a really big problem. And everybody I talked to about New Mexico, they're like, oh yeah, Breaking Bad. I'm like, oh God, no. No. So that was like my main drive. I'm like, no, we actually got good weed here. We got people that have all their teeth here. Like, we're a good state.
We really are. Right? Yeah. My heart is in New Mexico. It's in Burque. I born and raised there, and my heart will always be in New Mexico. And I get a lot of the same feedback from people out there. And the one thing that I always tell people is if you can appreciate culture, then you can appreciate New Mexico, because there's nothing like it. Our food, and we have our natives that have lived there forever and ever, who, everyone just welcomes you with open arms. So just like everywhere else, I feel, it has its bad parts, but what place doesn't? But I think if you can dig deep and really dig down to the, to the roots of New Mexico and our families who've lived there for years and years and years, there's nothing more beautiful than that culture.
And I tell people too, like, there's a lot to do here too. People don't realize, like, the outdoor adventures here, whether it's summer or winter, there's a ton to do here. Dude. And the climate's perfect for growing weed.
It is. True story. Yeah, there's always something to do. Last time I was up, we checked out Meow Wolf, which I thought was such a great time. We went to a concert there. That was awesome. But I've always appreciated the outdoors, mountains and hiking in your very backyard. When I was there, I lived up in the Heights, and so the sandias were literally in my backyard. You just can't beat it. It's just such a beautiful view. The clouds rolling over the mountains. There's just nothing like it. It's so awesome.
Right. Definitely unique.
Yep. Love it. So when did you start to incorporate cannabis into your lifestyle? Because it sounds like you started way back. You go way back, maybe like when you were how old? How did it all start?
I've been smoking for 24 years.
Okay.
I'm 34.
Okay.
So you guys, the listeners, can do the math.
Do the math.
I was really young, but it all started, honestly. I got in trouble for not putting away my Hot Wheels, and my mom grounded me. And I was like, I'm sneaking out tonight. I'm going to be bad. She wants to think I'm bad. I'm going to be bad. And I snuck out. And I got outside. I was like, well, now what do? I don't know what to do. So I just kind of was hanging outside, and the neighbor came out and offered me to smoke. And it was the first time I smoked. And I actually, it was weird. I tell a lot of people and they don't really believe me or whatnot, but medical wasn't around then. But I realized it made me feel better. It made me feel normal. I was always on Ritalin and like all kinds of pills my mom had me on. And when I smoked, I felt like what normal was supposed to be in school, what they wanted you to be, like kind of just calm and not loud.
Yeah.
And I really never looked back since.
Yeah, you hit the ground running. I hear you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so with the dispensaries, you say that you've done some consulting and things like that. Are you still helping in that aspect out there in New Mexico?
I'm not really working with any dispensaries currently at the moment. We don't have any more license for sale or opening. So the dispensaries that are here have been open and well established now for a minute. So they're doing good.
Gotcha.
Pardon me. I come in and do a little bit of consulting here and there for some CBD shops that are newer in the area.
Sweet.
But mostly just focus on like the in and bearded man thing. And well, not right now, not so much traveling, but that's kind of what I like to do and where I've been at lately.
Gotcha. And then you're also a brand ambassador for Ooze Life, right?
Correct. Yeah, I have a couple of companies that I rep their brands, and I'm actually very picky on that. Like I only rep brands that I personally want to use. Personally, I would carry. Ooze being one of those. They're definitely a great company. And even just as like a regular consumer, Ooze, and I know a lot of people, like, you know, it's in our day-to-day lives, we're super busy. We don't have time to do these little things or this and that. And just certain things fall behind. Like, you know, you open your cabinet and you got that filthy bong. Cool thing about Ooze is they're dishwasher safe. Like I literally throw my Ooze products in the dishwasher.
That's amazing.
They're cherry every time. So like, it's just the ease of things for me. Like,
yeah, I agree. I like that. I think you may have done a post or something like that where you had said that you're able to throw that in the dishwasher. I feel like I've heard that as I've just been following you on Insta and stuff like that. When I watch you do your reviews, I think you might have said that, and that was something that I was like, hey, I could totally mess with something like that in my life.
Right? Just the ease of it. It's like when I eat, I like things easy.
I get it. And there's nothing better than having some clean apparatuses, because I am guilty as charged.
I know. I'm sitting here looking at my Aura and it's filthy because it's not. I can't put it in the dishwasher.
Oh, that's so funny. I hear you. And then you're also a writer for Cannabis Cactus. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been writing for Cannabis Cactus for almost a year now, actually.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What types of things are you writing up for them?
It's really cool. So I've actually been able to just write kind of whatever's on my mind. There's really been no certain guidelines, I guess you could say. I've done everything, from motorcycles and marijuana to, prohibition style talks. One of my favorite articles I wrote was talking about the relationship between hops and cannabis, and like the connoisseurial style about pairing foods and pairing different beers with cannabis.
Ooh, I love that. Let's talk about that. There's definitely a relationship, right, between hops and cannabis, right? I mean, when you look at both plants side by side, I think you can immediately see a similarity.
Yeah, definitely. They're actually one of the most related plants in the plant world, as far as like relationships are concerned in plants. They flipping through my magazines here trying to find marijuana and firearms, Puerto Rico. Anyways, they're actually super, super related. And what's really cool is a certain brewery out in California, they started messing with the fact that you can infuse hops and cannabis together for beers. So it got me thinking, like, if people could take wines and cheeses and pair them together, why not take that cannabis connoisseurial style and start pairing together? All it really is just pairing terpenes when you think about it.
That's amazing. I love that. I definitely am a beer drinker, especially of the craft kind. I've tried a few. I think there's a New Belgium hemp pale ale. That's really yummy. And then there's also a Clearwater something, 420 Kush. I swear. And when you open it, or when you open up a bottle of that, or when you get it off of the tap, I mean, it just smells like some loud. It is awesome. So I was really stoked about that. I know you're talking a little bit more about pairing it, like cheese and wine. But if you ever have the opportunity to try those, it will blow your mind. It's pretty yummy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unfortunately, they're not doing any types of beers like that out here yet. it's weird because like everybody, it's funny in New Mexico, everyone thinks Arizona's like the real strict. I mean, you guys had that crazy sheriff there for a while, so I think it really put that strict stigma on you guys.
Yep.
But when it comes to cannabis, you guys are so much more lenient than we are. Yeah. I go out to Arizona often because of cannabis cactus, and I love it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great time. I know. I always see you having a wonderful time hanging out down at the cannabis cactus headquarters. Looks like so much fun all the time. W.E.E.D, actually, we recently met up with them and talked about their new, I guess they're on Mixer now. And so they're actually running some of our shows as well as some others on their, I guess it's like a podcast station, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we've been talking and working with them. It's such a great group of guys. We've had a ton of fun so far.
Nice. Yeah, they're awesome. It's Mikey's the dude that started the magazine. I've known him for quite a while, met him through the cannabis industry. And I love what they're doing. I was definitely thrilled to be a part of the magazine just because they're multicultural. They're spreading out to a lot of the Spanish community.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yep, I think so too. I love it. Great group of guys. So what motivates you to inspire others?
To be honest, I don't really know. It all started like the whole helping and unite not fight thing started when my aunt passed away from breast cancer back in what is it, like 2006, I think now. I started Ride for the Cure, which was that motorcycle rally I'd mentioned. It's now become one of the largest cancer rallies, I'm pretty sure, in the United States. I'm not too sure. I handed it over a few years back when I got into the cannabis industry. But I don't know. I've always had that mentality that there's enough of the pie for everybody to eat. And why not serve out the pie to people so they can eat?
100%. Amen to that. I was going to ask, what was the message behind your hashtag and message, unite, not fight? So that makes perfect sense. That's beautiful.
There's just so much hate. Like it's constant hate from everybody. And not even just the cannabis world, just in general in this world, there's a lot of hate and a lot of negativity. And it's like my Nana used to say, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. Well, it's the same thing with people's actions. If you can't do nothing nice, then just don't do it at all.
Yep, I agree. So what is your mission and your long-term goal with an Bearded Man or with anything that you're doing?
To smoke a ton of weed. No.
Yes.
But no, I don't really know. I'm just, living life, enjoying it. I'm a father of 4. So awesome. As long as my kids are happy and, my house is taken care of, I'm happy. I mean, I'm hitting my goals, I guess,
I love that. I wanted to talk about your family. I know your little one had her 10th birthday. And so because of COVID, she was unable to have her birthday party. So we were sending her some remote love through the IG world. So you have 3 other kiddos, right?
I do. Ages, I have 2, 5, 6, and 9.
Wow. Awesome. How are they handling all of this? Because they're not going to school either, I assume, right?
Yeah, no, schools have been shut down. We're on day 15. Today's day 16 of them being home.
Wow.
It's going good. I've been doing like the homeschooling thing, trying to, I guess you could say. I've just been,
I know.
Printing off worksheets, age related, trying to like keep PE and art.
Yeah, same here. We're doing a lot of life skill stuff at home with our boys. All the things that they say they never know how to do, and no one ever told them how to do stuff. I'm like, well, guess what? You're gonna learn now. You've got nothing but time. So yeah.
I printed off a chart today for my oldest that it has all the like the little washing instructions, like the little symbols and what they mean. I'm like, today you're learning laundry.
Today is home ec. You're going to make dinner.
Yeah. That's what I told her. She's like, what's home ec? I was like, this is.
I love it.
Just be lucky you don't have to make your own shorts and wear them to school. That sucks.
Yeah, seriously. I've had some of those outfits and full body print from head to toe, all the same print. I used to rock stuff like that. It's wild.
Man, I remember in home ec we had to make one article of clothing and wear it to get our grade. Well, I showed up late, so I got some horrible material, and it was barely enough to make shorts. So I got stuck wearing some like Daisy Dukes just so I could get the damn grade.
So you could get the grade. Oh, yeah. I love that. That's actually a really good project. We didn't do anything like that. Sadly, I would have loved that.
It was not a good project.
Oh man, I hope pictures of that surface come to the surface one day.
Oh, I'm sure they're out there in a yearbook somewhere, unfortunately.
Oh, that's awesome. So, describe a day in your life. What does it look like? I know right now we're being parents and teachers, but before COVID, what was a day in your life? What did it look like?
It's like in the famous words of Cottonmouth Kings, I got 2 states of mind, stoned and asleep.
Yes. I like the way you think.
Now I wake up in the morning, take a nice fat dab. Literally as soon as I wake up. On a typical day when my kids are in school, I'll wake up about an hour before my kids, get my mind and body right, do a little bit of an exercise, wake up my kiddos, get them ready for school, do the whole dad thing. Mm-hmm. And once they're off to school, I start, planning my events, working on the events. I do events everywhere from Oklahoma to New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, California. So really just depends on where I'm at the time. But I'm always on the grind, always looking to do a new event, always looking to, help out the next person. It's just what it is. It's fun. But all in all, just stay keeping your mind right and stay moving forward, really.
Yeah.
I'm ADD, so it's hard to idle.
I get it. No, I totally understand. You were extremely helpful with me in getting my foot into the cannabis scene in New Mexico. When I lived there, I've been smoking for, way back. So I've always been into cannabis, but I've never really been in any kind of scene. And so it was amazing when I went to New Mexico, how much I was welcomed with, there was such a warm welcome with open arms. Everyone was so awesome. My homegirls went with me. We had such a good time. It was such a good night. So again, we wanted to thank you for putting us up on that. It was such a good time.
Oh, no problem. It's cool. Like, the events can be cool here. They can be crazy here. But for the most part, they're pretty cool. It's neat to see the more underground market and the legal market kind of merge at these events. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of underground and a lot of mainstream at these events. And it's neat to see, like I said, the whole Unite Not Fight thing, the movement.
Yep, I love it. It was such a good time. I loved it. They started playing Wake Self. We were straight getting it. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we normally try to have good music, good performers, obviously good weed.
Absolutely.
I've been growing for a long time, so I'm really picky and very, very, I guess you could say snobbish on what I like around me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you can definitely own that, right? So what is your favorite way to medicate?
I'm a blunt fan. Always have been, always will be.
Yep. Same here.
I'll catch my grief for it. Oh, take your tobacco, take your hemp. You're smoking, you're wasting too much. That's an 8th. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I love blunts. They're my go-to. It's and like again, I probably use this word 1,000 times on this, but it's more of a connoisseur thing for me. Like it's like a fine cigar. You're just sitting back, you're relaxing. It's not,
yes,
yes, it's fun. Yeah. And then just breaking up weed. Like I love concentrates, but just something about breaking up the weed and just handling it. It's I don't know. It's brings you back. I think it grounds you.
Absolutely, dude. I think it can definitely take you into a meditative state. One thing I like to do when I'm using my hands to break up herb and flower is just putting good intention into what I'm about to smoke, what's about to go into my body. So I like your take on that as well. It's just, I'm also a blunt girl. I'm about it. I love it. I was just having this conversation before we hopped on the call about, with everything going on right now in the world, should we be smoking? Should we lean more towards edibles? We want to keep our lungs healthy and, this, that, and the other about everything that's going on with COVID. And, my answer is I still want to smoke a blunt. I still want to smoke a blunt.
Exactly. I'm like, that's just what I want. That's what I like.
Yeah, it's really it's my preference, 100%.
I actually just got my own custom blunt wraps done. They have my logos on them now.
Dude,
so I'm pretty stoked about that.
I saw them. I have maybe a few left of the papers that I got from you that were branded with your logo, but I did see those wraps and it's kind of like it's your logo's embossed on the actual blunt wrap, right?
Yeah. Yes, you actually smoke the logo.
That's so rad.
It's super cool.
Are those
I'll have to send you a case.
Yeah, please, if you can, or if they're available for purchase or whatever.
I just get a company makes them for me, and I don't pay for them, thankfully. I'm blessed enough. So I just pass them out. I don't sell them. I give them away. I pass them out when I'm out and about.
Sweet.
I'll even have some made with your guys' logo on it. They're super cool.
Yeah.
They're neat to have. It's just a good conversation piece. People are smoking like, wait, oh, dang, look at
that. Yeah, no, 100%. I was, all of your stuff that you were handing out that has your logo, and especially the papers, I think you had put me onto the website of the person who makes them. And I mean, they're just nice to have, nice to pass out. Who isn't going to hang on to, or some rolling papers? I have rolling papers from as far back as I can remember. I never get rid of them.
It's like the ultimate calling card.
Yeah, it really truly is. It truly is. And are you an indica, sativa, hybrid? What's your preference?
It depends on the time of the day. So I'm definitely a time of the day type of person. At night, I love my heavy indicas. Mm-hmm. I grow a Godfather OG that is my nighttime strain. Nice. And then like right now, I just got done smoking a blunt of some Mac 1. So definitely more sativa.
Nice.
Yeah, so it just really depends on the time of the day. Really super sativas, I really try to avoid just because I don't like the mental thing on it, the mental side to it.
I feel like sativas get me really anxious. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't like to be in my own head.
Yeah, same. I used to be a heavy indica like all day long, but I'm learning to play around with it and use it 4 times a days. So I lean towards more hybrid indicas, and I'll still mess with hybrids, but I don't do anything straight. It's just sativa. Not that I would ever, turn away any type of flower, but sativa just is never my jam.
Right, definitely. I feel you there.
Not the groove.
Right.
Yeah.
Too much up.
Yeah, way too much. So, I mean, where can we find you for our listeners out there? Do you have a message for anybody? And then also, if you want to plug where we can find you on Instagram or any other social networks and platforms, give you a second to shout out whatever you need to.
Cool, right on. Just the message to the people listening, first and foremost, thank you guys for listening to this amazing podcast and radio show. But just go out and help somebody, every day. It's not hard. I'm not well off financially, but it's not hard. Like helping somebody. If you make somebody smile, you've helped them. Yes. You change their day, you change their life. So however you do it, just go out and help somebody today, help somebody tomorrow. And that's how we're going to make this world a lot better place. And if you like what I say or you hate what I say, please let me know. And you can always hit me back on Instagram at NM_Bearded_Man or on TikTok. And that's about all my social media platforms. I don't do Facebook. I really don't.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Right on. I tend to stay away from that myself. Well, it's been great chatting with you. I really appreciate the time. Really looking forward to getting our whole entire show put together and introducing the world to NM Bearded Man. This is amazing for Loud Weed. We're able to cross state lines and Southwest coming together 100%. So shout out to Burka and the 505. I really appreciate you. And we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you again for the opportunity. I'm very humbled and very honored. Much love to you guys and to all the listeners.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Hey y'all, thanks so much for tuning in and joining us on Instagram Live. We appreciate all of you listeners and everyone that has showed us support. Please follow the NM Bearded Man on Instagram. You can find him at NM_Bearded_Man and follow us loudweed.az on Instagram as well. Have a wonderful week. We look forward to hearing what everyone's up to over the next few days, and we'll talk soon. Peace and love.